Okay, next speaker, Marguerite Chris Bello. Now, Marguerite and I go back, I know, over a decade, maybe 15 years. We've been around each other in the industry here in Sacramento, probably 24 years to tell you the truth. But we became friends, I think, about 15 years ago. And she's a dear friend, and she owned a couple franchises, offices around town. She had, 120 agents. She's one of the most respected agents / brokers in Sacramento, California. She's a pillar in the real estate community. She sells real estate like it's nothing. She is so successful. She's going to talk to you about building clients for life. Here we go, Marguerite. Let them have it. Enjoy.
Hello, everybody, and thank you, Brent, so much for having me on the show today. I'm truly, truly blessed and honored to be here and be a part of this group today. What incredible talent we have. And to have the opportunity to be able to share our experience and knowledge and resources and collaborate with each other to bring you information that hopefully you can use right now in your business to improve what's going on around you. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about building clients for life and the value of what that looks like. So let me backdoor it a little bit and explain to you a little bit about the value of your database and of clients. There's a gal that I helped back in 1997 named Linda Buckmaster, and I was able to sell her a $50,000 HUD home. Now, by many standards, that's not much of a sale. The commissions weren't very high, but let me tell you what she has been worth to me on top of being an amazing person and friend. She has been able to refer me 8 people who referred me, people who referred to the tune of 8 levels deep. Over 65 referrals and $300,000 in commissions. That is the true value of taking care of your clients, making sure that you're staying connected with them and staying in regular contact with them over the years, right? Now, I realize many of you are probably looking for some right now business, and I completely understand that. But what if you could take each one of those people that is part of your right now business, and if you could actually turn them into a client for life, who not only uses you over and over again, but refers you countless people. So let's talk about a few ways that you could possibly do that in this short time that we have together today. I will tell you that one of the most important things to remember is that not all leads or clients are at the same point. In other words, you may talk to somebody today who's ready to go. They're ready to write up an offer. Or you may talk to somebody who is 3 months, 6 months, a year, or even 2 years out. And if you truly take and build that relationship and build that connection with them, guess what? You're going to have new business coming into your funnel on a regular basis. Because while you're building your right now business, guess what? You're also having other people that are coming in at different timelines and that may be ready to buy or sell now. A perfect example is another client that called me recently who I had sold a home to 17 years ago. I sold him one home. I've never heard from him in 17 years. But recently his mother passed away. And sadly, it was time to help him sell his mom's house. So guess what? Because he got my newsletters and my information every single month, I kept in top of mind for him, and I was able to be the one that he called when the time came to utilize real estate services. So what are you doing on a regular basis, on a monthly basis to stay in contact? Well, I'll start by telling you some of the things that I've done over the years and continue to do. First of all, I send a simple letter of the heart every single month, and I've done it for over 20 years. And what that letter is about is a variety of topics and information in it. And truly, it's really not about real estate at all and hasn't been. Twice in 20 some odd years, I've written about real estate. Once when the market crashed like crazy and once when it came back. Other times I'm talking about a variety of different things. I talk about my kids who give me lots of great material. I talk about my animals. I talk about experiences I've had with remodeling or some of my favorite restaurants and other businesses that I connect with. But it's a very simple, short, and to the point letter, 1 page. I mail it and I snail mail it. Now you're asking, well, why do you do that? Well, I actually mail it because the importance of mailing it means that I get back anybody who's changed addresses. So I can make the decision whether I'm going to call them and follow up with them and find out why they opted not to use me. or whether I just want to remove them from my database. Maybe sadly they've passed away or they're no longer in the market. But it helps me on a regular basis clean up my database. Now, if you're asking which database I use, I hear this question all the time. And the most valuable database you can use is the one you'll actually use. So there's great resources out there. I personally use one called All Clients. There is Wise Agent and Top Producer and KV Core and lots of different opportunities and programs out there that you can use. But the most important aspect of all of it is that you actually use it, right? Go in and enter people's names, whatever information you have, a simple phone number, an email, anything. And then I also, every month, I may email my newsletter as well. And I email that so that, guess what? If the email address has gone bad or bounced or anything, it gives me a great excuse to be able to call them, right? All right, so let's talk about a couple other things. Keep in mind, as I mentioned, not all leads are at the same point. And timing and circumstances change everything. So the same person who said yesterday, I am never, ever, ever moving again, is the same one who just might have gotten a job relocation or is going through a divorce or is newly married or has had a death in the family or a new baby or anything like that that might make the circumstances of where they live change. You never know where life's going to take you and what's going to happen. So a few things that I do to continue to follow up is, as I mentioned, I send a letter of the heart. I send it out via email and snail mail. I've also had a ton of fun with videos, and I learned this little trick from my friend Mike Borkman, who does a ton of training. And he actually sends a little video in Facebook Messenger. He sends it on their birthday to say hi. And I got one last year, and I was so touched by it and thought it was so special that I've actually started implementing that in my own business. It's really, really cool. Now, another thing to keep in mind is how important the follow-up is, right? That fortune is right there in that follow-up. While maybe you've only called once or twice, the truth is, what are you doing to continue to call on a regular basis and follow up with them? I make it my personal goal to reach out to 20 people a day. Either I'm trying to talk to them on the phone, I'm text messaging, I'm emailing, I'm Facebook messaging them. I'm doing lots of different ways to reach out to 20 people a day. Now, for some of you, you might think that's not really realistic. And there was a time in my life when I just didn't have the time to do that. So guess what? I started having parties. I love, love, love to entertain. So I started having client events. I started years ago by doing things like summer carnivals when my kids were little. And lately we've been doing outdoor movie night or summer music fest. But I hold several client events a year, ranging from 5 or 10 people to hundreds of people. Now, if you're thinking, hey, Marguerite, I don't have the budget to do that. Well, guess what? I can tell you that I get all of my events covered completely financially by vendors and people that can help sponsor the event. Utilize the people that you use and support, that you support all the time. Utilize people like your lenders and your title and escrow people if that's an option, your home inspectors, your pool inspectors. Reach out to local people in your market. Recently, I was able to have a local restaurant help out with the food on one of my client events because I had over 200 people here. And they said, hey, we would love to help out with the food. It's a great way to get our name out in the community, right? So that's just one way you can. Now, again, if you don't have the budget, recently I talked to one of my friends, Ernestine, and Ernestine went through her box of gift cards. We all have those, right? Or hopefully you at least have a couple. Gift cards that you've been given for a variety of things. She happened to find a gift card from a lender she worked with to Ruth Chris. So she called 4 of her great clients and said, I would love to do happy hour with you, and it's on me. She was able to use that gift card from her lender. Now, if you don't have gift cards, you can reach out to people to help you pay for this. And she was able to bring 4 great people in front of her. Guess what? At the end of that happy hour, she got 4 referrals, one from each person, actually coming out to over $40,000 in commissions, all for a $200 gift card at Ruth Chris. So there's lots of things that you can do right now in the next 30 days to go out there and get right now business. But it starts with actually doing the work. You have to pick up the phone and call people and talk to them and get to know them. So the next question that historically comes from that is, well, what do I say when I call them, right? I don't know what to say. Here's how you start. Hello. Hello. How are you? How are things in your life? Like right now, more than ever, we need to reach out and connect and talk to people. Like listen to their voice, not just text them. Hear the tone of their voice. You now have the opportunity to do FaceTime with your phones, right? You can do Messenger FaceTime video. You can just call and talk to people. So please don't bury your head in the sand during these times. Pick up the phone and see how they're doing. Historically, when you start talking to them, they'll go, well, hey, Marguerite, by the way, how's the real estate market, right? And that's a great opportunity to talk to them about what is going on in your particular market and what's happening in your area. So it doesn't have to be that cheesy call, hey, this is Marguerite, I'm calling to see if you want to buy or sell a home, right? Like none of us are comfortable making that call. It's why we don't make them. So pick up the phone and just call and talk to people and reach out to them. Start with people that love you. Start by calling your mom or your friends or people that are going to be kind to you. And I promise you, if you sit down today, I promise, you sit down today and you literally make 20 outbound calls a day. Maybe 20 is too much for you. Maybe it's 10, maybe it's 5. But if you truly sit down and make those calls every single day for the next 30 days or 20 business days, I promise you there is no way you won't have business. There's no way you won't have people that are willing to work with you right now. So what are just a few tips that you think you could use? I would love to hear from you. I'd love to get your feedback and tell me what it is. So let me wrap this up by seeing what are just a few more things you can do. We talked about client events. We talked about birthday cards. We talked about all these different things. I'll tell you one little tip I heard from my good friend Rick Jiha, who I think is talking on this panel today. He said recently, in his neighborhood, he drove through the farm area and saw all those signs that people are putting up that talk about who just graduated and things like that. He put together a little gift card and a little package and he dropped it on the doorstep for the graduates. How amazing is that? What are some special touches that you can do on a regular basis? It could be, you guys all have the beauty of Facebook now and social media. If people are having a baby or their son is graduating or their daughter is finishing up her PhD or any of these things, these are a great resource to send out a handwritten note, send out a $5 or $10 gift card, whatever is in your budget right now. But make sure that you are connecting with these people and you are talking to them on a regular basis. So when I said in the beginning, Linda Buckmaster was my favorite person on the planet, she has continued to this day, refers me people. We're talking 23 years later. She has referred people over and over and over again to me. And that is the true value of following up, staying connected to your database, and making sure that you are continuing to reach out and talk to them. So can you do today to start building your database? You know, there's that famous saying, right? When was the best time to plant a tree? 30 years ago. When's the next best time? Today. So if you're one of those who's had a database, you've never done anything with it, you haven't really put it together, start today. Because I promise if you do it now, the rewards will be well worth it. Thank you so much for joining us all today. This has been so much fun, and I hope you got a ton of value out of it. So back to you, Brent.
Okay, Marguerite, I loved it. You are the queen of real estate. Everybody loves you. That was solid information. Hope you guys took a lot of notes on that. Implement that in your business and watch it grow. I cannot believe how good everyone's been today. So thank you.